of a 30-day sales growth live series, right? I'm your sales and mindset coach, Bharat Ogirala, founder of the Sales Gurukul, a premium sales skill training institute in India. Okay, I see people joining in slowly. Right. So before we get started to today's topic, it's going to be a wonderful topic. Let's do a little warm up, right? Just like that, we do it in a real classroom. Let's do it. So first of all, if you can confirm, can you see me and hear me okay? Is my audio and video clear? Just let me know in the chat box. Just type yes. And then also tell me which city are you joining in from. Let's see which city has the most active, sales vibe today. Yeah. Okay, wonderful, wonderful. And one more thing, right? So I want to know the audience a little more better in detail. So can you tell me if you are experienced or a fresher in sales? If you are a fresher, just type fresher in chat box, or if you're experienced, just type experienced in the chat box. Perfect, perfect. Okay, I see some people still typing in. Okay, wonderful, wonderful. So that's perfect, right? So this actually helps me to understand what kind of folks we have in the room today, so that I can give you relevant examples. All right. So looks like we have a mix of both experienced and also fresher candidates. So which is a good mix, right? Let me tell you something. So today's class is going to be extremely important because we are learning a skill many salespeople are scared of. It's called cold calling. Have you heard of this? Cold calling? And most people say cold calling is dead. It does not work anymore. But you know what? Cold calling is dead only for people who don't know what they're doing, right? But ideally, cold calling still works. Top sales performers still use cold calling to book meetings, to open opportunities and close deals faster. There is a way to do it, and that is what we're going to learn today. All right. So in today's session, what I want you to do is I want you to sit like proper students in a classroom and make notes and focus on it and understand the why behind every single technique that I'm going to talk to you. Okay. So I'm going to teach you about 5 different techniques or 5 different topics that we're going to talk about today in terms of the cold calling. And if you do that, cold calling will become, or if you learn this properly, cold calling is going to become 10 times much easier for you. Okay, ready? Just let me know by typing in ready in the chat box. Okay, for those who just joined, thank you for joining. Good evening, everybody. Happy New Year once again to all the new folks. My name is Bharat Ogirala. I'm the founder of the Sales Gurukul. It's a premium skill training or skill development institute for sales skills specifically. All right. Okay, folks. So let's begin the lesson, right? What I want to do is I want to give you 5 concepts, and then I am also going to give you some real, industry examples. All right. So the first concept is, I want you to understand this. Cold calling is not selling. Cold calling is basically starting a conversation. The motto of cold calling is just to start a conversation, not to sell. Okay. Most people fail because they think cold calling is, that means that, you need to sell the product. But real cold calling means you're just starting a conversation. All right. Think of it like meeting somebody for the first time. You don't immediately jump in and then, pitch your life story to them, isn't it? What you do is you start slow, build the comfort, build the rapport, and then you move ahead, isn't it? So that's exactly what you need to do here. All right. Similarly, a cold call is, on a cold call, your job is basically not to impress the other customer or the other person on the phone, right? Your job is to make them feel comfortable to talk to you. So that's the first goal. All right. The second concept or the second point that you need to understand is, uh, or to learn is the most effective way of doing a cold call, right? Which is basically having the most effective opening line for your call. Usually people say, hello, sir, I'm calling from XYZ company, etc. But that does not work anymore, right? Because if you say that, you sound like a telecaller. But ideally, if you really want to sound like a professional, this is what you might want to do. Instead of saying, hello, sir, my name is XYZ. I mean, my name is Bharat from XYZ company. Try using this. Hey Rohan, this is Bharat. I know I'm calling you unexpectedly. Is this a bad time to talk? Now, what I did is, if you notice, I used their name and I introduced myself naturally, and then I also acknowledged that I'm interrupting them, and then I also gave them the control, right? This is how 2026 cold call is going to work. It's a very, very important tip, right? I repeat. So if you just want to talk to a person called Rohan, I'll say, "Hey Rohan, this is Bharat. I know I'm calling you unexpectedly, and is this a bad time to talk?" I'm not saying is it a good time to talk, right? Now, the third thing is basically the tonality of your voice, right? Tonality is about 70% of your cold calling success. If you have the right tone, your cold call is going to be successful. If your tone sounds nervous, the customer will not trust you. If your tone is too aggressive, they will disconnect immediately. But if your tone is calm, warm, and steady, they listen to you and they will talk to you, right? So it's always important to have a calm, warm, and confident and steady tone. All right. So whenever you're making a cold call, make sure you do these. Speak slowly. Keep your voice calm and warm. Smile when you're speaking to the customer. Sound curious and don't sound desperate. Okay? Speak slowly, keep your voice warm, smile when you're talking to the customer, and make sure you sound curious and not desperate. Okay? This alone, this trick, or I won't say trick, this technique alone will double your success rate in cold calling. Okay? Fantastic. Now, the next concept that you're going to learn is the problem, opening. Most powerful line in cold calling. So after the opening line, you need to speak like this. The only reason I'm calling you today is because I saw your team is doing blah 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 XYZ, right? And many people in your industry is facing ABC issues because of this. So I'm curious if you're also seeing something similar in your company, right? Now what I acknowledged is, I acknowledged that I'm interrupting them. I asked him if this is a bad time to talk to you, but I'm also trying to defend or justify my calling reason, saying that the only reason I'm calling you today is because I've seen or I've noticed XYZ company, facing this particular problem because of this. Is your company facing a similar problem? So I've highlighted the problem. So that is basically a hook statement during a cold call. All right. Now you need to understand this particular thing. When I use this sentence, what I just mentioned, what you did is you actually researched. You did your research and then you understand their industry, so which is relevance. It's not a blind cold call, and then you're not trying to sell on the cold call. You're trying to build the connect and understand the customer and make sure you build that connect. Right now, what you're trying to do is finally you're understanding if this is relevant to them. So that is your motto on a cold call. And this is the modern way to open cold calls. You will never say, my name is Bharat, I work for XYZ company. Is this a good time to talk? That's a wrong way of doing a cold call. Right? Now, the last one is basically to handle objections. So I'm going to give you some practical examples of, objections. Let's cover at least two or three because we are short of time, but I can cover more in our live classes there, right? So we almost hear these kind of objections every single day, right? So listen to this very carefully and the result or the response that I'm going to give them. The first one, the customer says, "I'm not interested." The moment you cold call them, they say, "I'm not interested." This is how you should respond. No worries at all, Mr. Customer. Just so I don't bother you again, right? Can I ask you what made you feel this way? Right? I'm not saying no, thank you, hang up. No. What I'm saying is, all right, Mr. Customer, I appreciate that you're not interested. So can I know before, so that I don't bother you again? I want to know what is it that made you feel that you're not interested. Now the customer will start thinking, and then respond. So you will get the pain point there. Okay, that's the first thing. Now, why this technique works is basically you're not fighting with the customer or you're not getting into an argument. You're basically understanding why the customer is not interested, right? So a human to human, vibe will always opens up the mind of the customer when they are not attacked. right? If they feel that you're attacking them and saying, why are you not interested, that's a straightforward cutthroat question. Nobody would like it. So instead of that, you just say, okay, I understand that you're not interested, but just so that I don't bother you again, can you tell me what made you feel that way? Simple, professional, and polite. The second objection usually we get is, we already are working with somebody else, or we have a vendor already, right? This is how you should respond. That's actually great, right? So if you already have a vendor already that you're working with, that's fantastic. That's already great. Out of curiosity, what is that one thing that you wish the vendor could still do better? Now, here what you're doing is you're acknowledging the customer that they already have somebody, and you're not, wanting to change that immediately. But at the same time, you're also asking them, if there is anything else that you want your customer, your vendor to do, what is that one thing that you want it to be different? Now, why this works is basically because you're revealing the pain points without asking directly. You're asking them, what is the exact pain point if you want to change again, right? So that's going to be your very big banking statement. Now, the third objection usually what we get is, okay, send me more information over an email or a text message or whatever it is, right? Now, here is what you need to respond at that time. Fantastic. Thank you for that. And I'm happy to send it. But before I send it, Mr. Customer, what should I include so that it actually is useful for you? So you asked me to send something and I'm happy to send it, but it's just that I don't want to send a random message to you. What I want to do is I want to send a specific message with content that is helpful for you. So please tell me, what do you want me to include? That works because it forces them to talk instead of escaping, right? This way the customer cannot escape. They will have to stay hooked and talk to you. All right. So remember, guys, cold calling is not about being perfect on every call. It's about being human on every call, right? So try to connect with the other person on your as a human. Don't treat your customer like a money minting machine. On a cold call, your expectation should always be building connection, not to sell anything. Clear? I hope it is clear. Now, what I want to do is I want to take some questions from all of you and answer them. So please feel free to share some questions in case if you have in the chat box. Right? It could be any question, anything about fear of calling, opening lines, tonality or objections. So any questions you might have, just type it in a chat box and I'm going to answer that for you. And I also want to tell you something, right? So this is just a 15-minute live that I'm doing every single day, and today is the day 3. I'm going to do it every single day at 9 p.m. So you guys can follow and join the class if you found this session interactive and interesting. And I'm going to share these real-time tips every single day that you can apply on the very next call. All right. Now the other thing is, I conduct a free masterclass, a free live masterclass every Saturday at 11 a.m. I'm going to leave the link for registrations to that masterclass in the comment section below or the description below. You can go ahead and check it out. At the same time, you can also join my free course. I offer a free course with 8 to 10 key skills for every salesperson should master. I'm going to offer that. That free course link is also available in the description below, so you can watch that and subscribe to the free course as well. All right. Now, during the masterclass, what we're going to discuss or what I'm going to teach you is how to fix your sales pipeline is the first topic. And then I'm going to also talk about how to grow your confidence when you're selling, and then how to close faster and close more. At the same time, how to build your 30-day growth plan. That's something that we're going to discuss in our live masterclass. All right. So I'm just trying to see if there are any questions. Okay, I don't see any questions coming in, so I don't want to waste my more time. So thank you again for joining today's session. Whoever has joined today, thank you. I appreciate your time. And tomorrow the session, or on Monday, tomorrow is a Sunday, so let's go to meet again on Monday 9 p.m. What we're going to learn on Monday is writing messages that gets replies. It could be cold email or a message on a LinkedIn, how to write an effective message to your customer so that you get a response back. A very, very important skill in 2026. Don't miss it. So make sure you are here at 9 a.m. sharp on Monday. All right. Thank you very much and have a nice evening. Bye-bye.